present to you about Khabar Sadiq as a source of knowledge. In Islam, Khabar Sadiq is entirely approved as a source of information. Along with other three sources, which is senses, reason, and intuition, Khabar Sadiq is also becoming a key concept in Islamic epistemology. It had made the knowledge of Islam grow and evolve up until today. Khabar is a term that refers to a report of an event that is transmitted and spoken through language, writing, and representation of new events. While Sadiq, according to its terminological definition, refers to a truth that is connected to reality. According to Al-Atas, Khabar Sadiq is a true report that must be founded on scientific or theological attributes that are narrated by authentic religious authorities, not just anyone. Other than the senses and the intellect, Khabar Sadiq is also a source of knowledge that includes intuition. In other words, the tradition of Khabar Sadiq is only found on Islamic epistemology. This tradition is what makes the Al-Quran remains authentic, maintaining its originality up until today. Khabar Sadiq is divided into two. First, absolute authority, which is made up of divine authority, the Al-Quran, and prophetic authority, which is the Prophet's Hadith. Secondly, the relative authority, which consists of the scholars' agreement, tawatur, and reports from trustworthy people. In this video, we will emphasize more in detail on how Khabar Sadiq can be one of the knowledge transmission and a source of knowledge that is reasonable in Islam.
While Islamic sources of knowledge epistemology are based on sense, reasoning, intuition, and Khabar Sadiq, Western sources of knowledge epistemology are just based on sense and reasoning, none intuition nor Khabar Sadiq. There are some issues that are related to Al-Khabar Al-Sadiq nowadays. One of them is fake news. Fake news are occurred when one does not check the news with the related party before sharing the information or story that they get. For example, in Islamic teachings, we should only refer to the authentic sources and scholars on a particular issue before we share it and put it into our practice. Same goes with COVID-19 news. We should check the authenticity of a particular news before we spread it. Luckily, there are some Telegram channels nowadays, such as Sebenarnya Mai by Malaysia Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) and MKN Rasmi by Majlis Keselamatan Negara (MKN). These channels inform citizens on which of the spreaded news are correct and which are fake. This clearly shows that we implemented the concept of Khabar Sadiq in our daily life, which the source of a certain knowledge's authenticity is confirmed before we put it into our beliefs. Next, one's faith is related to Khabar Sadiq. Khabar Sadiq are divided into two types, which are absolute authority, which is from God, Quran and Sunnah, and relative authority, which is from scholars with the process of tawatur. When one's basic knowledge of religion is not properly learned, they cannot relate their knowledge with Khabar Sadiq. For example, knowledge about hadith mutawatir, which is known with the process of tawatur among hundreds of scholars from generation to generation. Undoubtedly, distrust to the concept of Khabar Sadiq affects one's faith more than we think.
Next, we move to the next point. In this point, I would like to share to you guys about three different groups. These three different groups are called Al-Inadiyah, Al-Indiyah, and La Adriyah. This group agrees on the aspect of human being is unable to achieve truth and belief. These groups always doubts all the arguments regarding to Islam, although it is based on nas and pious intellect. Hence, to counter the understanding system of this kind of groups, Al-Baghdadi in his kitab Al-Farq Bain Al-Firaq places Khabar Sadiq, which is included in Islamic epistemology, as first principle that must be firmly adhered to. This is because it is impossible for a person to hold on to any belief if he does not believe it is true confidently. So, it has to do with the truth of something that must be achievable. Brothers and sisters, we can simply understand that by adhering to Khabar Sadiq, human attempt to achieve a thabit knowledge about nature of things and automatically reject those who doubt the truth of knowledge and those who are stubborn do not accept the truth. In a nutshell, we can conclude that Khabar Sadiq is the most crucial and important element in the epistemology of Islam. This element of Khabar Sadiq helps to maintain and sustain Al-Quranul Karim authenticity until the day of Qiyamah. That's why Al-Quran is totally impossible to be altered by any people in this world compared to the other kitab like Zabur, Injil and Taurat. Last but not least, we really hope that this presentation could boost up your knowledge, interest and awareness about the importance of Al-Akhbar Al-Sadiq as the means of knowledge. Hopefully, this explanation could also open the eyes of Muslims about the validity of Islamic epistemology. Thus, that's all from me and I end our presentation with Wabillahi Taufiq wal Hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.